But this is the story that's hot tonight. Tech Mahindra, L&T and Spice Corporation have formally announced that they have thrown their hat into the ring as far as the race for Satyam is concerned. Meanwhile, CNBC TV 18 learns that the Hinduja Group and HCL Tech have decided to opt out of the race, or they haven't put in their expressions of interest. Neither has Accenture. That's what we understand from sources. CNBC TV also learns that a US-based research firm has pegged the liabilities from the class action suit at under $100 million. So on What's Hot Tonight, we ask, what is next for Satyam? Joining us is BK Modi of Spice Corp. Mr. Modi, many thanks for joining us. Now that HCL Tech and the Hindujas have dropped out, are you feeling a lot more confident?
Well, these were the names before also, and I think these are the serious bidders. So even if more names come, we feel comfortable. Whoever would like to come should come.
Right, Mr. Modi, now we learned the board has engaged a US-based research firm, and that firm has pegged the liability from the class action lawsuit at $100 million or even under $100 million. We don't have the name for this US research firm, but we understand that this is a firm that the board has contracted, and the $100 million figure in terms of liabilities is the figure that the Satyam board is working with. Now, you've arrived at a higher figure ranging between $400 million to $840 million. How have you arrived at that?
Well, we have, today also reconstituted the board, which is going to which has applied for this, which is Spice Innovative Technologies. And in this board, we have taken one of the lawyers, Jay Pathak. He represents Gibson Dunn company, which is one of the world large company based out of US. And Gibson Dunn people have given us estimate of $440 to $840 billion as the potential liability. But that does not mean that you have to pay that. There will be a case, and this case do take 2 to 4 years. And a lot of these liabilities can be settled out of court too. So I think this is something which we have got from a law firm. I'm sure the board should disclose which law firm they are using, because one thing we have been talking is transparency, and it's very important that there is a lot of rumors are not floated. If anybody has any information, they should disclose it with the source of information, so that you are aware that from where the information is coming, because there may be different people interested in floating information for what reason, I don't know. So one of the things we have been talking is transparency again and again, and that's why we are very keen that there should be e-auction, which is there. I am hearing certain other things which are there to be talked about. That's why we are very glad that a judge has been appointed, and I think it's time that the board should hand over the matter to the judge and let the judge start the proceedings from now on.
Mr. Modi, you've made this point repeatedly about e-auction, but it's very clear now that there is going to be no e-auction. So does that change your plan of action?
For us, it's very clear that the first round is we put the bid. The second round is by 20th of this month, we have to show 1,500 crore rupees, which we are going to show. And then the third round is the bid. And I'm again and again saying that that whole thing is transparency. I keep on saying that because one of the bidder has shares in the company, and actually he has certain maybe more information as shareholder. I don't have any shares in the company. I'm going as a new bidder into the company. I have not bought or sold any shares from the day I have shown my interest, neither I intend to do it. So I think it's very important that the transparency has to be maintained, and that is again and again I'm saying it, and I will repeat it again, that all the information, whichever is disclosed, the source should be also said.
Okay, Mr. Modi, if we go with the $100 million figure that we understand the Satyam board is working with in terms of liabilities, that completely changes the valuation game, doesn't it?
Well, as I said, we have got this figure from Gibson Dunn. Once we know which lawyer they have used, we'll ask Gibson Dunn to go and check with that lawyer what is their reason of giving 100 million and what is their reason, and there may be some reconciliation happening, because we should all have a similar figures in terms of what are the potential liabilities, and all bidders should have similar figure. The figure I quoted, I'm giving the firm's name, and the firm's head of Asia, Mr. Jay Pathak, is now on our board, and it is we will put Mr. Jay Pathak responsibility to find out what is the likely liability.
All right, that point is taken, Mr. Modi, but tell us, how do you propose to fund this acquisition if and when you go through that shortlist?
Well, as I said, we have 1,500 crore in the bank. So at present, as far as 1,500 crore rupees is required for the purpose of showing to the board that the money is available, that we can show that by a bank certificate, which we will do by 28th. Then depend upon what process the board puts into the process. We must not forget that this is a public limited company. I will not seek any information from the board which legally should not be there. One of the person who has joined our board is Mr. D.R. Mehta. He was the ex-chairman of SEBI, and we have told Mr. Mehta is basically will make sure that we do not get any information which is not transparent. And the board works within the SEBI laws, because SEBI laws are quite firm in terms of information flow, especially for the purpose of public limited company. So I don't know whether I am privy to any information which the public shareholder is not. So I would be very clear in my view that I don't get involved in any non-transparency process. So we, as I said, have created a board in which we have got J. Pathak, we have got Mr. Mehta, we have also got Mr. K.M. Mimani. Mr. Mimani is the one who is on the global E&Y board, Ernst & Young. So we have Mr. Mesh Prasad, who retired as a cabinet secretary rank for IAS officer. So we have very prominent board. And I think each board member will be effectively given individual responsibility on particular areas of the bidding. And transparency is where we will be very much relying on Mr. D.R. Mehta and make sure that we are not doing anything which is not under the SEBI guidelines, because it is a public limited company and SEBI has a very big role to play in this. And so far the letter we received from Satyam said that they have not got full SEBI approvals, and they have yet to get certain SEBI approvals. So I think the major player in this will be Stock Exchange Board, and also there will be this judge who will be appointed, which is yet to be appointed.
All right, Mr. Modi, we wish you the very best of luck. Many thanks for joining us. BK Modi there, he's put his money where his mouth is. He has at least registered in the first round, that is as far as the expression of interest is concerned for Satyam.